Kia ora, welcome to Central News for Friday the 14th of March. I'm Anne-Marie Case-Miller. Warnings of severe weather in the Waikato and Bay of Plenty this weekend have most people battening down the hatches and securing boat moorings. Farmers, however, are hoping the weather warnings come true as Cyclone Lucy will bring much needed rain to the parched lands. Whilst an official drought hasn't been declared, the Waikato has had one of its driest Februaries on record, according to NIWA's February climate summary, with soil moisture deficits as severe as the 2013 drought in some areas. Cyclone Lucy is expected to bring heavy rain and severe gales over much of the North Island this weekend. Meanwhile, the Matamata Piako District Council has increased its water restrictions to level 3. This means a sprinkler ban is now in force in Matamata, Morrinsville and Te Aroha, along with garden irrigation systems, unattended hoses and domestic water blasting. Hosing remains restricted to alternate days with even street numbers on even dates and odd street numbers on odd dates. The 2014 Cambridge Autumn Festival is well underway, with everything from opera to dancing to jazz on the programme. Tonight sees an evening of jazz with Whirimako Black at St Andrew's Church, with film screenings at the Town Hall tonight and over the weekend. A heritage-conducted walking tour starts at 2 p.m. from the Cambridge Museum on Saturday, with the Main Street Carnival and Autumn Art Festival on Sunday from 10 to 1. Full programme details for next week are available on the website cambridgeautumnfestival.co.nz. Taking a look at sport now, and a busy weekend ahead in the Waikato with the Under-19 and Elite National Cycling Championships on the Avanti Drome until Sunday. In netball, the Kia Magic take on the Southern Steel at Claudelands Arena on Monday night, and the Chiefs meet the Stormers tonight at Waikato Stadium in round 5 of Super Rugby, bringing 2 of their long-term injured backs into the starting lineup. Gareth Anscombe comes in at fullback in place of Mills Muliaina, and Tom Marshall comes into second 5/8 after surgery to repair a ruptured thumb ligament. Kick-off is tonight at 7:35. Go the Chiefs. Taking a look at the marine forecast now, and with Cyclone Lucy looming, it is not a good weekend to be on the water. Saturday, and Raglan can expect a southeast of 15 knots, rising early on Saturday to 25 knots, late on Saturday to 40 knots with very rough seas, becoming moderate southwest swell on Saturday with a high tide at 10:27 Saturday morning. The Bay of Plenty rising to a southeast of 30 knots early, turning to a northeast of 40 knots late. Rain is expected with a high tide on Saturday morning of 13 minutes past 7. Sunday isn't looking much better, with Raglan expecting a southwest swell, turning to a westerly of 30 knots, high tide at 1 minute past 11 Sunday morning. And the Bay of Plenty, winds should ease to a northerly of 20 knots early, then dying out late. Rain, heavy falls should ease Sunday afternoon. High tide 3 minutes to 8 Sunday morning. Still to come on Central News, we discover that play is the best medicine for sick children, and we find out more about the Roman Machines exhibition at Waikato Museum. Welcome back to Central News. It's said that laughter is the best medicine. However, sick children at Waikato Hospital are also learning that play is a good medicine too. Last week was Hospital Play Specialist Awareness Week, and I spoke with YKids play specialists Lisa Pearson and Serena Rogers about the role of hospital play specialists.
We're hospital play specialists, and we support children and young people in hospital by providing developmental activities and play opportunities to assist them in coping with hospital and providing some normalisation for their development and growth.
Lisa, how does play help a child who's unwell when they might be too sick to get out of bed?
Absolutely. Play is really crucial for children because it's how they can tell us how they're feeling, how they're coping. We have several areas where we use play with children. This is our YKids Early Childhood activity room. So children who are inpatients who are well enough come down to us here during our sessions, and we have an amazing environment where we expose them to different opportunities for play here. We also work bedside with children in their rooms, so assessing when a child might be feeling ready for some playful interaction, and we'll take play resources and activities to them. Also part of that play is around supporting children's understanding and preparing them for events and interventions, so it's really helpful. It helps to break down some of the unfamiliar, gives them lots of sensory experiences for them to feel, learn and interpret what they're seeing around them, and so that it can help support their understanding and coping.
Serena, is each program catered to the individual person?
Yes, we do assessments of every child that we meet.
Lisa, children learn so much through play. Is there an educational component to the program as well?
Absolutely. Like Serena mentioned in assessment, we have an assessment tool where we're looking at their developmental needs as well as their psychosocial needs, their family situation, whether there's siblings, whether they're from out of town. So a lot of components build into that assessment for us, but definitely developmental, keeping their normal developmental progress is really, really vital, particularly for some of our longer term children who we work with. Hospital can be a big part of their life, and it's really important that they have opportunities to continue and progress with their normal development.
Serena, what's an example of a child who hasn't responded to treatment, who has started responding after a visit from a hospital play specialist?
Probably something that comes to mind is a young girl who wouldn't even let the doctors or nurses put anything anywhere near her, medical equipment near her, and even to the extent of not wanting her ID bracelet put on. And so I'd spent a little bit of time working with her, and she was going to surgery, and so we used a lot of play with the anaesthetic masks and things, and even putting the simple task of doing the ID bracelet onto a teddy bear or a familiar toy of hers. And she spoke, English was a second language for her, and her family didn't think she was actually listening or sort of joining in with the play. And she went off to theatre and came back, and they were all amazed at how she'd actually taken the mask and breathed in the anaesthetic and did what she needed to do. So it was as simple as showing her just through play, and she wasn't actually interacting at the time, but it just shows that they do absorb that, and it certainly helps in that method.
The Romans invented so many things that we take for granted in everyday life, such as concrete, bound books, highways, aqueducts, and even welfare. The Waikato Museum has an exhibition allowing you to journey back in time to relive history and discover the life and culture that was the great Roman Empire. People who attend the Roman Machines exhibition will also get the chance to be hands-on with many of the machines. I spoke with Education Manager Jennifer Hamilton to find out more.
This is a major exhibition that has come from Italy. The artisans of Florence are responsible for creating the exhibition. They were very successful with an exhibition that toured New Zealand a few years ago, which was the Da Vinci exhibition. From there, they looked at other opportunities and have come up with the Roman Machines. We're delighted to be one of the 3 museums this year to have Roman Machines here in New Zealand.
How was it developed?
Well, the artisans of Florence, who of course are from Italy, looked around and thought, well, what do people want to know about next? Obviously, their Da Vinci exhibition had been hugely successful and popular, and Romans seemed to be the very next thing that they would explore. Living in Italy, of course, their interest is there. There were lots of opportunities for them to research the machines and to think about, well, how have these machines influenced the creation of Rome, the Roman Empire, and what lasting legacy does that bring to the rest of the world? So I think that's really what was behind the creation of the Roman Machines.
You're running educational programs for the exhibition. Tell me about those.
Yes, well, we're really excited about our educational programs. We see this as a huge opportunity for schools to come in and virtually take themselves on a trip to Rome. We have 4 different programs for our primary schools, and what we're focusing on in each one of those programs is a different aspect of the exhibition. Our first one is called Growing Up Roman, and it focuses on the day in the life of a young boy and a young girl so that our students learn more about life in everyday Rome. Our second one is called All Roads Lead to Rome, and that looks at the construction of the great roading systems that were really the key to pulling the empire together. We look at the impact of Roman society being transferred to other colonies and how the roads really were the vanguard for the Romans exploring the rest of the empire. Our next one is called Rome Wasn't Built in a Day, a really famous saying there, and we look at the civil engineering behind the building of aqueducts, the Colosseum, and again the houses and temples within Rome itself. A really great story, that one. And of course, what would Rome be without its military aspects? So we also look at the military aspects of Roman society, the fall and rise of the empire.
Coming up next on Central News, we find out about a survey that looks at the health of the hauraki and catch up with Dallas Fisher ahead of the Chiefs game tonight. Welcome back to Central News. The Hauora Service for Hauraki, Te Korowai Hauora o Hauraki, is implementing a survey to find out where the needs are for their community. Hilary spoke with them earlier this week.
Welcome to the show to both of you. Now, once you've collated everything with the survey that you have, what are you going to do with that information?
I think it's really important that we share that information. So we've got a lot of supporters out there helping us collect that information, and we want to particularly share it with them. But we want to also share it with other providers of services, because we can't do this alone. We want to achieve goals for our people, so it's important any information that we collect, we make sure we share it going out. And we'll do that in various ways. We'll go around and visit some of our stakeholders and partners and have that conversation and share that information. But we'll also load it onto our website, and actually we've been supported by the Lottery Grant Scheme, so they will load it also onto their national website, so it'll be there for everyone to view, participants included.
Now, John, the underlining kaupapa for Hauora is whare tapawha. What does that mean?
It is a model of service delivery developed by Professor Mason Jury, and it's all encompassing, it's all inclusive, it fits any nationality I would expect. Basically, it talks about the 4 walls of well-being. So not just health, it's overall well-being, and we talk about the hiningaro, which is the mind, the wairua, which is the spiritual well-being, the tinana, the physical side of someone, and most importantly, or just as importantly, the whānau. So when we provide services, we expect to be inclusive of not just that individual, but the family, the whānau needs as well.
I mean, that leads me to my next question then. Is Hauora just for Māori?
No, we open it up to everyone, and like I said, it's all inclusive. In fact, we have nearly 50% of our enrolled population, enrolled clients, non-Māori. So it's Pākehā, Asian, and the Pacifics.
Do you think then that we should be looking, I mean, all health should be looking at the similar model to whare tapawha, that it is about all these areas and not just focusing on that one diagnosis?
I would like to think that we provide a unique service. It's not just your typical medical model. It encompasses, for example, our services involve the mental health side, palliative care, community palliative care, home-based support, public health, that wide-ranging service, so that when a person comes to our service, it's not, they don't have to go anywhere else, so it's a one-stop shop type of approach to it. I think we're unique in, particularly in the Hauraki-Rohe, in doing that. So certainly in the medical side of things, I think they maybe they see themselves as being, when they talk about being whānau-centric, maybe they are inclusive of whānau. We're just a bit more explicit in it.
I mean, one of your questions in the survey is, did you go to an accident and emergency for something you could have seen a regular doctor for? Do you find that some patients simply can't afford the GP and that gets to that state that they have to go to an A&E?
I think there's various reasons why patients go to A&E instead of their doctor. One thing is we're trying to do is to encourage them to come to us early, come to us, see a doctor. A lot of the stuff is preventative. There may be occasions, and one of the things the survey may bring up is actually just to what extent is it that families can't afford to go and see a doctor? Or is there a combined set of reasons that may be influencing whether they come to a doctor or not? For instance, I know that my father will wait till the last minute to go to a doctor. It's just the way he is. So there may be a whole combined range, and that's what we hope the needs assessment will enlighten us with as well.
To find out about the survey or any of the services they provide, you can visit their website korowai.co.nz. After the break, we speak with the chairman of the Chiefs Rugby Club, Dallas Fisher, and get the inside knowledge as the Chiefs take on the Stormers tonight at Waikato Stadium. Kia ora, welcome back to Central News. The Chiefs take on the Stormers tonight at Waikato Stadium as defending champions of Super Rugby. Can they make it a three-peat? I spoke with Chairman Dallas Fisher to find out more about tonight's game. Dallas Fisher, welcome to Central News. Fantastic to see you. An exciting game ahead of the Chiefs tonight as they take on the Stormers.
Yeah, big game coming off the bye week. The boys have had essentially 10 days rest, so there's a lot of excitement in the camp to get another W tonight. Yeah,
hopefully. And you've got a few coming back from injury.
Yeah, it's been an incredible injury toll. If you go back to the last pre-season game, we went unavailable. I went 19, 15, 11, and I think this week it's 5. So it's been a huge injury toll, but the cavalry is coming over the hill, as they say.
Now, we're hoping for a three-peat this year. How important is that, or is the team just taking, if you pardon the cliche, one game at a time?
Yeah, I think you plan a season. And if you're a professional sporting organisation, your raison d'etre is to win the competition. So the season is planned about winning the comp, but the game focus becomes one at a time. Or sometimes they turn it into mini series. So going to South Africa shortly, the away trip, going to Perth, and 2 games in South Africa. That's done as a mini series. So so they break it up into different segments.
Different specific goals as well.
Yeah, that's right.
But no, we'd like a three-peat, if that's okay.
we all want that, yes, indeed.
If you could arrange that would be great. Now, big game tonight also, Tanarau Latama was 100th game.
Yeah, that's there's 2 big things for Lats this year. There's the 100 Super Games in total, because he's played 5 games for the Crusaders in the early part of his career. So tonight's special, but the real special event is when he plays his 100th game for the Chiefs.
Right.
So tonight there's some activities planned, but the big celebration will be when Lats plays 100 games for the Chiefs.
There'll be lots of fireworks then.
I'm sure we'll blow a few things up, but Lats is an incredible individual. He's been around, it seems, forever. Started playing Super Rugby when he was 19. And he's just a warrior and such a nice guy, family-orientated guy. Yeah, it's going to be a great moment for the club when he steps out for the 100th game for the Chiefs. Yeah.
And these guys put their bodies on the line every week. I mean, you put that 100 games, that is a lot of sore muscles the next day.
Yeah, you put into context, it is. He's just come off an operation to fix his elbow. So, you know, they do get beaten up, but we manage their programs to ensure that they can get their longevity of career is important for them as professional sportsmen. So, yeah.
So, main focus of tonight's game, attack?
Oh no, I think it's. I don't write the game plans, Anne-Marie. You've got to ask Dave Rennie that. But no, I think it'll be Chiefs rugby, team game, huge concentration on defence and putting it out there. But we also like to attack. Yeah, the Chiefs have got an amazing backline and loose forwards that are incredibly talented. So, yeah, we'll see how we go.
We're excited. We're excited. We'll see you tonight at Waikato Stadium. And go the Chiefs.
Thank you.
The Chiefs meet the Stormers tonight at Waikato Stadium. Go the Chiefs. Taking a look at the weather for the Waikato firstly. Saturday, rain with easterlies rising to gale force, possibly severe. Expect a high of 21 degrees in Hamilton. Pāroa, you have the same with a high of 23 degrees and a low of 16. Matamata, the same again, a wet and windy Saturday with a high of 19 degrees expected. And Te Awamutu, also a wet and windy Saturday, 21 degrees expected. Tokoroa, rain, easterlies rising to gale force, possibly severe, and a high of 18 degrees expected. Bay of Plenty, your Saturday isn't looking much better. Rain expected with easterlies rising to gale force, possibly severe. 22 degrees your high, 17 overnight. Te Puke, much the same with 19 your high, down to a low of 16. Looking ahead to Sunday, and the remnants of Cyclone Lucy are still around. Hamilton, expect a rainy Sunday, easing to showers with the wind turning northerly. 25 degrees your high. Rain should ease to showers right throughout the Waikato on Sunday, with Pāroa expecting a high of 25 degrees, Matamata 22, Te Awamutu 25 and Tokoroa 21 degrees with a low of 15 overnight. Sunday in Tauranga, expect heavy rain to ease with winds turning nor'west and easing, high of 24 degrees expected. Te Puke, rain with heavy falls, easing to showers, nor'easterly gales turning nor'west and easing with a high of 21 degrees expected. And that's Central News for this week. Make sure you like us on Facebook, and if there's news or an event you think we should know about, then make sure you let us know. Thanks for joining me. Have a fantastic weekend and try to stay warm and dry. Take it easy on the roads too. I'm Anne-Marie Case-Miller. I'll see you Monday. Ka kite anō.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.